Okay, should we start? Or any of your friends are supposed to come here?
Actually, history class is not there at the afternoon, so that's why.
Okay, fine, no problem. You're sitting in the class? Okay. So, what do you find as important in the newspaper today? India UK Inc. trade deal extend framework of ties. Do you think it's important? Is United Kingdom important? See, in international relations, we have so many countries, around 200 countries, so not every country is important. But what about UK?
Raising power.
Rising power. It was a power. Superpower.
That's why. Yes.
First of all, UK is permanent member of United Nations Security Council. Okay, we should always be interested in those who are part of the government, right? So they are part of the world government right now, or at least United Nations Security Council. So Britain will be important. Look at the historical relations India had with United Kingdom. Okay, first of all, a bad history that we all know anyways. But after that bad history, we have a good relationship with United Kingdom. Okay, even that was UK's plan when they were leaving India. That was their plan, that somehow we have to maintain good relations because trade relations or other partnerships will certainly be there. Okay, many students, many people from India, they go to UK. Yes, you must have seen all these things. So there is this relationship dimension which we cannot ignore. Now earlier UK was part of European Union. Okay, but after some time, or just recently we can say, they left European Union. Now you will understand what is this European Union so important, and when Britain exits from this European Union, how trade dimension became important for them. So after leaving this European Union, this is for the first time UK is going for any big free trade agreement or any kind of big trade deal with any country. Do you think for UK, India is important?
Yes.
Why? Just one line answer, why?
Economic relations.
Huh? Economic relations, but why India, not any other country?
So both laws are there.
They're not going for free trade agreement with everyone, no? Why India?
India has so much raw materials.
Raw materials, they have been taking since long time. For that they gone for this colonialism.
They purchase more weapons
From India,
Food
we
products,
purchase.
oil,
we purchase, but we purchase more from Russia, France, America, Israel, not Britain.
food sources.
Okay. See, for UK, India becomes important because India is one of the fastest growing economy. Remember this fact, this is very important. India is one of the fastest growing economy. The potential in India is very high. If you look at the growth rate of other countries, you look at USA's growth rate, hardly it will be 1%, 2%. Most of the countries' growth rate will be 1%, 2%. China, little higher. India, 7%, 8% growth rate. So if you invest some amount of money in India, so see the growth rate every year, your amount of money will increase by 8%. That's the growth rate we are consistently having. Okay, so from the investment perspective, when they look at it, they find India is a good place for investment. Second, they also look at India's entire market. Some things which Britain produces, for them India is a big market because we have a population of 1.4 billion. In Britain, do you find so much population? No, so whatever you are producing, you need some consumers to buy that. So you want as much market access as possible. Okay, so Britain will look at things this way. Okay, that's the basic part. Technical part we will understand later on, but just understand the basic why India is interested in Britain or UK, or why they are interested in us. Okay, now there is one more dimension to this. Right now we are in a chaotic world order, I said. The world order, it doesn't seem that there is anything predictable in the world right now. Nothing is predictable. Suddenly some country will say we are putting tariff on you. Suddenly some other country will say we will do the same. Trump will put some tariff. China will put some tariff. Suddenly what will happen, we don't know. there is uncertainty. So in this time, when you go for any such agreement with any country, you're trying to bring at least some certainty. Even if there is conflict between, let's say, US and China, or US and India also, let's say USA puts some tariff on India also, or even on Britain also, let's assume that. Still, at least we will have some consumers in Britain, Britain will have some consumers in India, we will have some trade, some predictable trade, right? So this is the global trend, and considering the global trend, it was very obvious for UK as well as India, for both countries to go for some kind of trade agreement with some countries. So it's not like they have to go for this agreement with, let's say, UK had to go with India only. That was not the only thing. They had to go ahead with the trade deal with someone. So they found India. Same for the India. India is also not having much trade deals as such in recent times. So we are also looking for some good partners. Okay. So that's the basic part. First of all, what do you understand by UK? UK, Great Britain, England, quite confusing. No, same thing. Do you think England, Great Britain and this UK, all three are same? No? Then what's the difference?
Britain is a one state, I think.
Everything is Britain. So it's a little complicated although, but we'll just look at this thing. This is the map. This is your England. This is Wales, Scotland. This is entire Ireland, but this is Northern Ireland, which is not part of this Ireland. Okay. Now when we say England, this is the part only. When we say Great Britain, so 1, 2, 3, England, Wales and Scotland, all three come into picture when you are using the term Great Britain. Okay. And when you say UK, United Kingdom, as a nation with whom we had this trade deal, when you say this, it includes England, Wales, Scotland and this northern part of Ireland that we call as Northern Ireland. So 4 parts when we talk about United Kingdom. Okay. Now we have gone for a trade deal. What's a trade deal? Deal for the trade, you can say. Now simply when we go for trade deal, what we try to do is we try to reduce the barriers that are present in the trade. Let's say UK is exporting something to India, and let's say what India has done for that particular product, let's say they are sending some wines. Okay, Indian consumers are ready to buy wines, but Indian government said that we'll put 25% tax on wines. Now what will happen? There will be some wines present in Indian market already, and now British wine is also coming, but British wine will have an additional tax of 25%, because of which the price of British wine will be very high. So consumers will prefer other wines rather than buying British wine. Are you getting the point? So it's a barrier for Britishers. For them, it's a barrier that you have put 25%, 50% or whatever the number is. It's a barrier because their wine, even if it is not really costly, but it becomes costly as soon as it enters Indian market because of that barrier in terms of tariff or tax. We use the term tariff. Okay. Now when two countries go for a free trade agreement or a trade deal, what they try to do for some goods or some products, initially they try to reduce that tariff. What they will do is, let's say, do one thing. For 10 products, UK will say, India, for 10 products, you reduce this tariff from 20% to 2%. Or even 0% also they may ask, but let's say 2%, 3% reduced. They'll say, India will say to UK, sir, you reduce some taxes for these products, which we export to you. Good deal. Such kind of trade deal takes place. Now, normally we hear about this free trade agreement, but the trade deals will be of different types. Initially, the smaller level trade deal will be called as PTA, Preferential Trade Agreement. So for some goods, for some items or some goods that are exported or imported, for that we will give some preference. Preference as in we will reduce the tariff for those things. Okay, that's called Preferential Trade Agreement. Then there is Free Trade Agreement. So for most of the goods, which are being exported or imported. Here just few we were selecting. Here we will add more. Okay, and now we can even add service. It's not just about goods, it's also about service. We don't just export goods, right? Manufactured products or goods which we are sending. Apart from that, we also sell services. We have IT industry over here. They are selling some kind of service. Or let's say there's a call center over here in India. There's a company which is working in UK. Let's say there was a company called as Capita. Okay, their office was there in Pune in India. Capita India Private Limited. Company is in UK. It's an e-commerce company just like Amazon, smaller one. Okay, their customers are also there in UK. But the customer service associates, they are in India. They are providing that support. Okay, so even services will be part of it. Yes. So if you make this PTA larger, that is your free trade agreement. If you add few more things in it, it becomes Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, CEPA. So here you add, apart from goods and services, investment part is there and few more things are added. That's a technical part, you don't need to get into it. This is larger one. Just imagine this is a larger FTA. Again, if you add few more things, it becomes Comprehensive Economic Trade Agreement, CEPA. Okay, this is something we call as more deeper economic cooperation. So if any country is having this CETA, that means it's not a normal FTA, normal free trade agreement. It's a larger one, it's a deeper one. You are adding so many things in it. Even what will happen as what kind of regulation is there in UK, similar kind of regulation will be established in India. Similar things will be brought in. So if India and UK are going for such an agreement, that shows that we are looking for a long-term partnership with UK. Okay, good thing is we have gone for this one, not these. Okay, and the larger version from over here will be the new one, that is customs union. Customs union, you can simply understand that few countries have come together and they have formed a customs union. They will not have any trade barrier as such. Just like in India, we have different states. So do you think that states are putting any extra tariff or extra tax on other states? Not like that. As far as we are part of India, there is no additional taxes that we are paying. There are some taxes that's not that relevant. But mostly when you look at India as entire unit, we say that the trade can happen freely throughout India. Imagine such a system wherein multiple countries are there, but the system is similar. So look at Europe, European Union. In European Union, so many countries are there. In those countries, free trade takes place, complete free trade. You can buy anything from anywhere, sell it to anywhere, no issues at all. Okay, but there will be barriers on the countries which are not part of European Union. So this is European Union. Okay, any outside country, for them there will be taxes that will be decided by European Union. Getting the point? But at least as far as this area is concerned, so many countries coming together, they will have free trade. Okay, that becomes your customs union. Clear? So many types of trade agreements, and we have gone for this one, Comprehensive Economic Trade Agreement. At least remember this name. If there is any question in the mains, maybe you can use this term directly. Okay, now whatever we said in little technical words, what kind of benefits India is going to gain from this trade agreement. So first of all, our export. So footwear, jewelry, textile, MSME, especially our MSME segment. It is being said that you look at our MSME, good thing is, when you look at our entire export, MSME has a major role to play in that. Okay, and now because of this trade deal, our MSME sector will be getting more boost. Now good thing about MSME is, employment in India, when you look at the employment numbers, we get a lot of employment from MSMEs. MSMEs are good. Economically, they are giving substantial contribution they are making in GDP also, and for the employment also, they are providing a lot of employment. So overall, this seems a good thing for us. Okay. Then tariff advantage, some items will become little cheaper in UK, which India was already exporting. So it will give an extra advantage to Indian producers, Indian sellers. Then some farmers will gain agricultural products, seafood products which they are exporting to UK. Then because this economic partnership is not just about goods and services import and export, we said investment will be there, some additional stuffs will be there. So look at this thing, lot of people from UK will be investing money in India in the form of FDI, foreign direct investment. Is it a good thing? It's a very good thing. If someone comes and sets up one company in India, is it beneficial for India? Is it beneficial for them? They'll set up a company, they'll earn money, they'll go back to their home, enjoy. For us, we'll get employment. Yes, that's a good thing for us, which we need anyway. Our economy will boost, right? Our manufacturing sector will become better. So this FDI, that is important. With this, there will be dimension of technology also. So if they're investing, they're coming up with their unit over here, there will be some technology transfer also. Okay, so somewhere we are getting help. Okay, skill collaboration, some kind of collaboration, academic collaboration will also be there. Some academicians from India, Britain, they'll also collaborate, they will form something. So all these things will happen. So it is going to be a deeper economic relationship for sure. Okay, now there are some concerns highlighted in this editorial which was there in the newspaper. One of this concern is about the health aspect. They're saying some junk food items which Britain exports to India, those will become cheaper in Indian market. Now junk food, when you're eating so much of junk food and you anyway like British made food because we love English, right? And we are so much racist also, so we like English language, English products and all. So when people will consume more junk foods, this will lead to many lifestyle diseases which have become quite common in India also and around the world also. Obesity or diabetes and so many things. And this is not something this person is saying whimsically. He has observed in many other countries like Mexico and some other countries who had gone for such free trade agreement. There, when this export of junk food items increased, there the number of cases of such diseases also increased. Now see the impact. When such diseases will increase, because of that there will be immense pressure on your healthcare system. Okay? So this is one dimension you need to focus on. Second, there is dimension of food regulation. In India, regulation is not that great. In Britain, it is relatively better. So it is being said that this is where we need to work on, regulation part. Okay? Then there will be some competition for our local farmers and food industries because some products will certainly be better than Indian products. So those who are producing in India, they'll find that at the same price, because the tariff is reduced. So at the same price, you can get British items which are better. So these producers will go for suicide or what? Not suicide, but at least their business will be affected very badly. Okay? So that's it. These are the major concerns that we can see with this India-UK deal. Any doubt on this? No? Okay. Next. What's the news? A slow revival. India's ties with China are on the mend, but mutual trust needs rebuilding. Now, I had discussed about India-China relationship in brief earlier also. So one thing you need to understand, there was a time, substantial time, which we had spent wherein India and China, although we're not really good friends, but we were not fighting on the borders. For a substantial time period, we had made some agreements that we will follow the thing on this border, that we will not fight on the borders. Nobody will attack nobody will encroach anyone's land and all that. But suddenly, in the time of COVID-19, when we saw that incident, that standoff, which we saw at LSE, that incident changed everything, especially for the foreign policy makers in India. For them, it was a big shock. And from that time onwards, they started thinking about China differently because there is a mistrust. Indian government or India as such doesn't trust China. Even if they are cooperating with us, even if we are having good trade with China, we had seen the numbers last time that when it comes to import, China is the major player for us. We import more from China than any other country, right? So we have decent economic relations. So even if there is cooperation, we are saying there is mistrust. That's the same thing this article is talking about. So they are saying there are many good things happening in recent times. So for example, this tourist visa has been resumed. Then we have this working mechanism for consultation and coordination. So they go for some meeting to establish some working mechanism between China and India. So their meeting is taking place so many times. They're trying to sort out this border issues and all. Then this Kailash Mansarovar Yatra we had discussed just recently. Yes, that is also working on. So obviously we need Chinese permission for that. China is also allowing all these things to happen, right? So when you look at such developments, it seems things are going good. Okay, but this person is clearly saying, sir, things are not going good. First of all, this is the major friction point, unresolved border tension. The border between India and China is not fixed any time as such till now. We have never resolved this problem of border. Okay, there are disputes at different places. For example, you look at the region of Jammu Kashmir and Ladakh region, that's the western sector we call it. There is central sector, then there is eastern sector, region of Arunachal Pradesh and all. So all these places we see there is conflict. This exists since the time of British era. Okay, until now we have not been able to sort out this border problem, right? Now it becomes way more tough because China has become very powerful now. And when you have a powerful country and you're not so powerful as compared to that country, who will decide or whose intention matters more? Even if India wants to resolve this border dispute, let's say you take some land, we will take some land, let's sort it out. It depends more on India or it depends more on China? Obviously, the powerful will have to have that intent. So what their intent is, that will matter a lot. Okay? So this border tension is a problem. What India expects, at least, even if we do not solve this problem, at least there should be peace at the border. There should not be any extra fight as such. Okay, but that changed, as I said. After that long standoff which took place, right? After that, things have changed. We don't trust China at all. And from that time onwards, India started spending more on the defense. India also started working on this border area. We are building the infrastructure in the border area with a very high speed. When we started doing that, China even started showing more aggression. Why you are building all these things? Why you are building road over there in the border area? And we started doing the same thing again. We know what are your intentions. Okay? This is major thing. Then recently this Operation Sindoor which took place. So there are some reports which claim that China was supporting Pakistan, okay, as far as some missiles or a few things that they needed. For that, China was supplying all those things to them. So looking at these dimensions, we certainly do not need to trust China. That's what we learn from those things. Okay, so that's the normal article. Yeah, one more thing, water and resource security. So there is one dam which China is building on Brahmaputra. It's a very large dam, and because it's just luck by chance that when it comes to China and India, China is upper riparian state. That means if you see the height wise, when you look at the river is coming like this, so here China is located. So if they build a dam, they can build it. Yes? If they suddenly say that we have stopped the water and now suddenly we will release all the water. If they suddenly release all the water, you will see floods. Last time there were floods in Pakistan and they were saying that India did something. Although whether we did or not, that's a different thing. But if China does this intentionally, suddenly there will be floods in many parts of India. Okay? That can be one of the strategy in the time of war also. Or let's say there is no war, just to build pressure. You don't listen to us, release the water. That is also going to affect Bangladesh, although it's not like only India will be affected. Even Bangladesh will be affected. Okay? So these are the concerns. Clear? Now the next one. This one is more important article than the earlier ones. Supreme Court working with government to clear months-long pending judicial appointments to high courts. So what is happening in India? High Court says, or in courts, any idea how many cases are pending in courts? Supreme Court, High Court, you consider all the courts. What do you think is the number? Total number of cases pending. In all. Yes, include all. Very good number, very good. Somewhere around 5-6 crores is the number. 5 crore cases pending in our courts. Where is justice? Although our number is more, but hardly anyone is going to judiciary. And one who is going, we don't see anything happening. When we ask this question to Supreme Court or High Court, they say that, sir, our seats are vacant. Judges' seats are vacant. And they show the finger towards government, that government is not doing anything to, approve this appointment or not. So what we are asking, or what is being discussed over here, is about those vacancies. Since last many years, we have been talking about this thing, that judicial vacancies should be filled as soon as possible, so that these cases, these pending cases can be reduced to some extent. Otherwise, it will keep on, just that pending work will increase. Okay? Now see, first of all, basic. How do Supreme Court judges and High Court judges are appointed? So who appoints Supreme Court judges? President. Who appoints High Court judges? President, not governor. Now, when it is about the appointment, how the appointment process happens? Is it the president? If president is taking decision, that means whatever prime minister or council of minister is telling, they'll do that? Or there is some role of judiciary in this? Yes, there is role of judiciary. So there were some cases which you will read in the polity part, first judge's case, second judge's case, third judge's case. There were so many cases. After that, the final thing that came into picture was the collegium system. So collegium system simply means a group of judges sitting in Supreme Court or High Court, they will decide who should be transferred, who should be appointed. They will give the name to the ministry, and then that will reach to the president, and that person should be appointed. So the decision has to be taken from judiciary side, is the final conclusion when it comes to judicial, this what we call collegium system. Now let's say it's about Supreme Court judges. We have to appoint new Supreme Court judges. So there will be collegium created in Supreme Court. So in Supreme Court we will have Chief Justice of India plus 4 senior most judges. They will be part of this collegium, and they will recommend some names to the president. Clear? Now when it comes to Chief Justice of India himself, if we have to choose Chief Justice of India, so there is a tradition that is followed in Supreme Court. It's a tradition that the judge who is Chief Justice of India right now, and let's say he's about to leave after 2 days. So when he is leaving, he will recommend the name of the senior most judge in that court, and that person will become next Chief Justice of India. That's the tradition. Okay? Now, same thing about High Courts under Article 217 Clause A, Clause 1. So here President is appointing, but there will be collegium at the High Court level. Now in this collegium there will be Chief Justice plus 2 senior most judges. Okay, they will recommend the name that will be reviewed by the Supreme Court collegium, and then it will reach to president, and president will take a call. Okay, now sometimes what happens, collegium recommends a name, or they give a list of names to the president. What the government does, they don't approve every name. Let's say there are 10 names given, they'll approve number 1, number 3, number 5, rest they'll not speak anything. We are just reviewing. We are doing background check, background verification. They will not take any action. Now the problem is there is no time limit on the executive, on the president about this thing that they have to take an action within these many days. There is no time limit as such. Okay. Because of this, this problem is continuing. Right now, 371 High Court judges posts are vacant out of 1122. This matters, see, 371 High Court. There are how many High Courts are there? Okay, check the numbers, even I don't remember. Okay, but see these numbers matter. 371 is a big number. Okay, then Collegium recommends, sometimes it is said that there is delay in Collegium's recommendation, but the court says that we have recommended, we have already given one list to them, they are not approving it. Okay, sometimes what the president does, he gives the list back to the Supreme Court saying that I think we find some problem with this, please reconsider. So there is a tussle between executive and judiciary. Executive wants, they should decide who should be the judge. Judiciary wants, we want complete independence, don't meddle into our arena. So this is a big conflict that was going on since a long time, especially at the time of Indira Gandhi. We saw that conflict rising to a stronger level. And when Prime Minister Modi, he came to power, he brought one constitutional amendment to bring NJAC, yes, National Judicial Appointment Commission. Okay, there was a mechanism where there will be some people from judiciary or some people from government, and they will decide who will be the next judge. So just like somewhere we are thinking about the idea wherein, just like UPSC helps us in recruiting civil servants, why not have a system to recruit judges, right? But there is a tussle. Executive says we will do it, judiciary will say we will do it, right? So this tussle is a big problem. So now what is happening? Now they are saying Supreme Court is working with government, and they are saying we are somehow planning to fill all these vacant seats. That's something CJI is saying, that's something government law minister is also saying, that we are planning to fill in all these posts as soon as possible. Okay, this will take time. This is not going to happen just within few days. But remember, this is one of the major problems with respect to judiciary. Okay, this data also you can remember, it's good for mains. Next, telecom policy. So central government releases new telecom policy draft. They have come up with draft. Again, it will take some time for draft. When they come up with draft, people will comment, some people will write these editorials, and all these public criticisms or public comments will be taken up by the parliamentary committees or those parliamentarians. They'll make some changes in the draft, and eventually they'll come up with a better bill which will be passed. Okay, so rather when it is passed, that will be much better for us to study. But at least we can understand one thing, that government is looking for some new policy in telecom segment. Okay, telecom is again a rising sector. Okay, now their plan is we want to connect 95% of the population by 2030. That this much population will be having access to telecom. So somewhere Jio and all, they are going to enjoy. Then all these things, these are not important facts as such for you to remember. Just understand what is happening. We are planning to bring in 1 lakh telecom towers. Just imagine this thing, that yes, telecom is the sector which is going to expand in India in next few days, is what we understand from this. Okay. Then they have talked about cyber security dimension in this, specifically quantum secure communication and AI-based cyber security. So when it comes to telecom, this cyber security dimension becomes important. Concerns of cyber security are continuously increasing. We talked about that warfare dimension also when it comes to cyber security. Okay, so there is some internal security problem, there is external security problem also. Internally, some people are, they're going for hacking, they're taking control of some systems. That's our internal problem. Sometimes some people from sitting in Vietnam or some other country, China, they are doing all these things. Many scams, many fraudulent activities, we get to know about it again and again. And sometimes it is state sponsored also, cybersecurity as a concern in terms of warfare also. Okay. Now here what they are talking about, something called as quantum secure communication. So to understand this, you have to study quantum communication, quantum technology. So just wait for that quantum part to be completed in your science and tech lectures. Then you will understand it better. So simply, if I have to say it, this quantum communication is a technology in which you can bring in system wherein communication is taking place. See hacking, how hacking takes place. Let's say here I am, here there is another other person, and now I am talking to this person. And for that, let's say I have a medium called WhatsApp. I'm having a communication. Now when this part, the message that is going, if someone can access this packet of message, that is hacking simply. He's getting access to it. Now in the quantum, what happens, where this quantum communication is taking place, it will be somewhat hacking proof, because as soon as someone tries to get into this communication, tries to make any changes in the communication, or tries to check anything, that communication will either stop or nothing will happen. Means your communication will always be highly secure because of quantum technology. Okay, that you will understand later on. Quantum technology I can't teach in just 1 or 2 minutes, that will take time. Okay, so this we are using an AI based cybersecurity. This is also something we are talking about. Their vision is important, this part. At least remember this one line, if not anything. They want to make India telecom innovation hub. Modi ji wants to make India hub of almost everything. But telecom, it will certainly happen, because we have some good companies and good players, right? Some favorites also. That's it. Done. Any doubts?
Sir, that judges who appoint the High Court judges is same for the Supreme Court judges of the collision. The collision which appoints the Supreme Court judges is same as the High Court judges, sir.
Not same. It's the same. See, there will be Supreme Court collegium, but when it comes to High Court judges, there will be a collegium at High Court level also. They will first recommend, and that names, that will not be directly going to President. Supreme Court will also check that. Supreme Court collegium will review that. Judiciary works in this manner. They are integrated. Don't think that Supreme Court is different, High Court is different. They will work in an integrated manner. So if, let's say, there's a manager and there's an employee made a report, manager will check and then they will give it to the other side. So this collegium is the same, which you are saying is the same collegium. Yes, it's the same collegium, but there's additional collegium.
High Court collision.
Yes.
Sir, another doubt is which part, I mean, the part, like, so you said, sir, Great Britain or England. So which, that one, which rule colonizes India?
Which colonized India?
Yes.
See, their relations are changing. I'm not sure. I'm not also sure. As far as I know, it was the Britain part. But I don't know their history. I don't know British history, because they keep on changing. Sometimes Ireland, that Northern Ireland wants to be part of Britain. Sometimes it doesn't want to be part of Britain. They have their own internal conflicts. So even I'm not exactly sure whether it was Great Britain or other parts were there. So I'm not sure, yeah.
Same Supreme Court Chief Justice, there is one policy here recommended one senior. In High Court also same, sir.
In High Court, no. High Court will have different. When it comes to High Court Chief Justice of India, Supreme Court's role comes into picture. Supreme Courts will make some decision. Okay, but above Supreme Court there is no court. Above CGI there is no CGI. That's why there is this senior most position. Okay? Yes.
In collegium system, sir, there is a lack of transparency
Mm-hmm.
and high judicial independence is there.
There is lack of transparency and
High judicial independence.
judicial independence is there, yes.
Like anything overcome for that?
Any
Any suggestion?
suggestion? That suggestion was this NJSC, government brought that. But there was problem with NJSC. One of the solution, even with many countries, it doesn't happen that judiciary is recruiting itself. This doesn't happen in every country. Most of the times we observe that executive has some role to play when it comes to recruiting these judges as such. Point is, in India, judiciary is way powerful than you can imagine. It is said that it's the world's most powerful judiciary, because it is the interpreter of constitution. So they'll decide what will be constitution. So there is a criticism about this collegium system, that this is where judiciary is taking over all the control. It's not written in even constitution. They have invented it. That's a criticism. That's a problem now. That's why there is conflict. Can you observe? This is a constitutional conflict between judiciary and executive. This will continue. So government brought that NJSC. Judiciary directly said this is unconstitutional. Certainly there were problems with NJSC also. Okay. So maybe there will be discussions. Maybe they'll come up with something new. We'll see how much tussle there will be with executive and judiciary. Okay. Yeah.
Sir, there is international court of justice.
Yes, there is international
Like
court of justice.
Netherlands.
Yes.
We can follow its constitution, sir.
There is no constitution. There are some international laws. Let's say United Nations, we brought some resolution. Every country supported that resolution. So they will take that. They will take all the treaties. They will take all the traditions till now of international law. So they will look at all those things and they will follow something called as idea of natural justice also. That's how they go for their.
We didn't have a constitution.
How could they have? The world is not a country. There is no government at the world level. So there is no constitution also.
There is no sections, articles. There is no.
They have international law books. Okay. Like, see, just imagine there's a treaty that has taken place between all the countries of United Nations. Don't you think it's a treaty written, let's say, it's like a man book. So for them it will be a constitution. At least for that segment, there is this treaty called UN clause. That's about the seas. What will happen in the seas. So that's part of their constitution.